Hi again everyone, it's Michael from Replica Airguns, and we're going to take a look at the Umarex Colt Government 1911 A1, and this is the nickel version. Now I purchased this gun used from one of my website viewers. Let's talk a little bit about some of the specifications. It's a non-blowback, almost all metal gun. Again, this is the nickel version. There's blued versions, there's different versions with wooden grips and other different accessories. This gun uses 12 gram CO2s like many other air guns. This is a pellet shooter and it comes in .177 caliber. It uses these 8-shot rotary magazines. These are the metal magazines, very common in a lot of the rotary magazine Umarex products. This gun weighs 2.5 pounds, has a nice weight to it. It's also single and double action, and it has a claimed feet per second of 425. And you'll notice it also comes in this nice hard shell case. So let's take it out of the box. One thing I have to say is it's a really accurate reproduction of the actual Colt Government 1911 A1 style 45 automatic. Take a look at it. Very nice gun, nice looking gun. Let's do a walk around on this gun now and take a look at some of the parts and components to the gun. On the left side you'll notice that we have the licensing here, Colt Government 1911 A1. It says Colt on it on the slide here. We also have this magazine release, but it's not an actual magazine release. What I'll show you what it does. When you press it, it pulls out the right hand cover so that you can get access to your CO2. And so your CO2 goes in here and you literally tighten this up until it's snug, and then you use this as a lever to tighten it up. It's a neat design, it works very well. Alright, so we also have this slide release, and it is functional, but it doesn't release the slide in the traditional way. So when you release the slide goes forward, allowing you access to the actual magazine. In this case it's a rotary 8-shot magazine. And again, it's the metal rotary magazine. You also have your safety on this side. Obviously you're safe. When it's red, you're in fire. And this is very true to the real 1911 how it works. Alright, let's take a look at the right side. Now you don't really have any licensing here. You have some engraved, I guess it would be notes and different information. For instance, made in Germany here by Umarex. Some different notices, calibers and things like that. This is not a toy. Of course it's not a toy. You'll also notice that the trigger on this is very true to the 1911. A little bit different, but it's not your typical lever style trigger. You'll notice that the ejection port isn't cut out on this gun, but I think it would be hard to do because the magazine is housed inside there. Also wanted to mention the grips on this gun are really nice. I love the feel of them. I'm not sure if they're plastic or rubber. They almost have like a rubbery plastic feel. It's a very nice grip. Not too shiny, not too dull. So let's take a look at the top of this gun. You'll notice we have our contrasting black sights. On the front we have our front sight here, it's black, and the back one of course is black as well. Now there's no white dots, so it does make it a little bit more difficult to shoot this if you're shooting it on a black or dark background, but it works well in very neutral lighting or lighter backgrounds. In the back of this gun we have our trigger. It's either double or single action. And I also wanted to mention you have a working back strap. I don't know if you can see inside of here. I'll try and get it. There's a little piece that comes up allowing the gun to shoot. So you actually have to have your hand on this back strap safety to operate it, just like the real 1911. On the bottom, again, this is not the actual magazine. This is the lever that pushes the CO2 up into the piercing area of the gun to pierce the CO2. And you'll notice that on the front we don't have any types of rails or anything, just like an actual 1911 wouldn't have that. And on the front of the gun you'll notice that we have a little bit of a larger diameter opening here, which is nice. The barrel is slightly recessed, so the inner .177 caliber barrel, the rifle barrel, is recessed inside the gun, which gives the gun a more accurate look. Now this isn't a 45 caliber diameter, but it's a lot larger than a .177, so it does make the gun look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so we're going to head outside and do the chronograph and shooting portion of this review. Okay, we're all set up with the chronograph, and I've got my Umarex Colt Government 1911 ready to go, loaded with CO2. We've got the RWS Super Hollow Point, and these are 6.9 grain. And we're going to find out what actual feet per second we're going to get from this nice pellet shooter. Let's turn it on. Safety off. Going to go single action. .417. 423. 398. 387. 380. 365. 340. And 356. Alright, so that was pretty good. We hovered somewhere in the 350 to 400 plus feet per second. As the gun got a little bit colder, it tended to shoot a little bit slower. It isn't exactly warm right now, so I'm sure this gun would shoot a little bit higher FPS at a little warmer temperatures. So let's move on now to the target portion of this test. Alright, we've got the target set up. I've got my Umarex Colt Government 1911 all loaded up with 8 rounds in its 8-round magazine. Again, I'm using the RWS 6.9 grain pellets. Let's find out how well this gun shoots. And again, we're going to be shooting from approximately 20 feet away in a free standing position. Well, that's a really nice little group I got there. You can see here, vertically, very, very nice. Horizontally, a little bit of a spread. I'd say maybe 1.25 inches. Not too bad at all though. Really nice grouping. Alright, now that we have our chronograph and our shooting results, let's talk a little bit about some of the pros and cons I found with this airgun. Some of the things that I liked about this gun: it has an all metal construction, has a really good weight, 2.5 pounds, feels nice and solid in the hand. And of course it's German made. You know, if it's made in Germany, it's generally a pretty good product. Comes in a nice hard shell case with the foam cutouts. Overall, it's a really attractive gun. I like the two-tone black on nickel look. This air pistol has an adjustable rear sight. I found it shot fairly well on target, but if it is shooting left or right, you can adjust that because it is adjustable for windage. Again, this gun is both double and single action. Makes it a little bit easier when you're target shooting. Now the double action is very smooth, but in single action mode it's even better. I like the fact that it has a fairly accurate trigger design, true to the 1911. You'll also notice that the back strap is functional. Now in the shooting portion of this test, this gun did really, really well. I was also able to get about 100 shots out of a CO2 cartridge, and overall it had pretty good power. Some of the things I didn't like about this pellet shooter: well, it is a bit pricey. Here in North America, you won't really find it for under $200. It's generally about 200 plus, so 220, 230. Now the sights being all black with no white dots on them makes it a little bit difficult in the wrong type of lighting or dark backgrounds to shoot this gun accurately. I also found the engravings on my gun were a little bit faint. I don't know if they're all like this, but with this particular one, they are a little faint and hard to see. Would have liked to have seen them stand out just a little bit more. Now I'd like to try and at least have one comparison for you, so I thought I'd bring my Colt Special Combat in just to compare these two guns. And you can see they're about the same size. Very similar. Now they're very different guns. One's a BB gun with a dropout magazine with a moving slide. Not blowback, but at least a moving slide. You can see here the trigger design is quite different on these guns, and this would not be the most accurate here. This is more accurate. Backstrap doesn't work on this gun. It does on this one. You know, they're kind of night and day guns really when you compare the two. They're very night and day. But I thought I'd show you the two for comparison purposes. Alright, so this wraps up my review of the Umarex Colt Government 1911 A1, and this is the nickel version, CO2 .177 caliber. Thanks again for watching another Replica Airguns video. Always make sure to come by and check out the website. We have lots of articles and lots of reviews. I also have my web store there where I sell a lot of different guns. I don't have this particular model there, but I do have some other Umarex rotary magazine products like the CP Sport and the CP88 available in our web store. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And as always, thanks again for watching, and take care.